Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I am one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 117, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. This week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, April the 9th, 2021. And there's a big article on the front page announcing that a new police station is planned for Neepawa by Owen Devereaux. Spruce Plains RCMP will soon be working out of a brand new space in the town of Neepawa. A groundbreaking ceremony for the new detachment building was held on Tuesday, April the 6th. Representatives from the town as well as the Royal Canadian Mounted Police were on hand for the event. The facility will be just south of the new community fire hall, and in this picture on hand for the event was the town of Neepawa Councillor Daryl Gerard, Deputy Mayor Brian Headley, Mayor Blake McCutcheon, Councillor Murray Parrott, RCMP Staff Sergeant Mark Moorhouse, Spruce Plains RCMP Area Commander Colby Argue, and RCMP D Division Superintendent Jim Mirza. The proposed structure will be 7,664 square feet, a little over twice the size of the current building, and will be constructed on the vacant land directly south of the new fire hall. It will feature expanded office and meeting spaces, as well as upgraded cell capacity. The initial price estimate for the construction is believed to be around $5 million, with the cost shared proportionately using the ratio of municipal and provincial personnel. The reason for the $5 million price tag is due to the federal government requiring specific security design features be included in the construction. And it goes on to say, the road to this announcement has been a long one for the town of Neepawa, as the council of the time began exploring discussions with the RCMP prior to 2000. For several years, the two sides would meet annually to discuss policing issues relevant to Neepawa and the need for a new detachment. Neepawa Mayor Blake McCutcheon said that those ongoing efforts from several former mayors and councils went into ultimately making this day happen. This has been a work in progress for over 20 years, and we get to be the beneficiaries of that ongoing work here today, said McCutcheon. After years of deliberation, the RCMP issued an agreement in principle in 2018 to proceed with a partnership for a 25-year detachment lease with the town. Over the next 2 years, a new detachment concept then progressed through the discussion and design stage. The lease agreement between Neepawa and the RCMP will see the town pay for the initial construction costs and then be reimbursed with interest. The town would also then lease a portion of the new detachment for use by the provincial RCMP contingent. With the deal being structured in this manner, construction of the facility will be able to begin this year. Deputy Mayor Brian Headley said that this structure to the agreement will definitely speed up the process, which is important due to the growth of the community. In total, 13 people currently work out of the RCMP building. Spruce Plains RCMP Area Commander Colby Argue told the Banner and Press that the detachment's officers and supporting staff are very much looking forward to the shift into the larger space. We're really excited to be planning a move into a new building. The extra space and updated layout of the facility will be very beneficial. We're very thankful to everyone who came together to make this happen, and we're very excited about the future. RCMP Staff Sergeant Mark Moorhouse, whose second tenure in Neepawa began in 2012, knows all too well that they have definitely outgrown their current location. The floor space, he says, that we have now is so cramped, and we have the old cells. We had our property management people review the building in 2016 and did a survey of the building. They told us that we had to change everything in the building to make it work, said Moorhouse. Neepawa Town Council hopes that construction can begin as quickly as possible on the building. The expenditure for construction has been factored into the 2021 town budget, and funds are currently available. The current RCMP building in Neepawa was constructed in 1987 by the town of Neepawa at a cost of $376,200 and featured a 25-year lease agreement between the town and the RCMP. The capital portion of the lease ended in 2006, with subsequent leases put in place over the years to continue to share operational and maintenance expenses. And there's a picture here of the proposed design of the new RCMP building, which will be just south of the town fire hall. And here's a picture of a young lady, Neepawa graduate recognized with Student of the Year Award at U of M. A former Neepawa resident was the recipient of a significant award from the University of Manitoba. Eva Kwok, who graduated from Neepawa Area Collegiate in 2015, was recognized with the 2020-2021 Cooperative Education Industrial Internship Program, or Co-op 11P, Student of the Year Award by the U of M Friends of Engineering. Not only did she receive recognition with the award, she was also presented with a $1,000 cash prize at the Friends of Engineering Annual General Meeting on March the 4th. The award was open to any graduating student in the Facility of Engineering who was involved in the co-op during their time of U of M. Eligible students had to apply for the award to be considered and were evaluated based on a number of criteria, including how they advanced the promotion of Co-op 11P to other students and professionals, made an outstanding contribution to the workplace while on their work term, demonstrated development and growth because of the co-op, and improved academic performance as a result of what they've learned through their co-op work term. I heard of the opportunity to apply, and I was thinking, I've done a few things in my work terms and I do think they were significant, so I applied, Kwok explained. I was a bit surprised to be chosen, but I was really happy as well just to get some of my work recognized in the field. She had the opportunity to take part in 3 work terms through this co-op 11P, one as a research student at U of M, and 2 with the City of Winnipeg as a technical assistant. During her term as a research student, she was able to present her group's research on biological plastics at a bioengineering conference in Ontario. While working for the city, she developed a condition assessment form for Winnipeg retention ponds, which allowed for more efficient and thorough inspections of the city's ponds. She also developed and implemented an emergency protocol for Winnipeg to deal with regularly occurring emergencies during one of her work terms. Kwok noted that Co-op 11P assisted her in getting these work terms by helping her develop specific resumes for the applications and prepare her for the interviews. It really helps, she stated. These people, they know what employers are looking for, and that's their job. She added that many of her fellow students would sign up for the program and pay the fee, but they wouldn't be proactive in seeking help from the coordinators. So she tried to encourage them to get their money's worth out of the program. If you're paying anyway, definitely go and use the services, she stressed. The engineering program has been a very rewarding experience for Kwok, and she encourages high school students to consider engineering as a career path. I know when I was in high school, we would do the career tests and stuff, but I didn't even know that engineering was a thing, she noted. She went on to explain that it wasn't until she started seeing news about new buildings and new technologies being developed by engineers that she started to take interest in the profession. I just want people to know, if you like math, if you like science, and solving real-life problems, definitely consider engineering. Don't be intimidated, and especially if you're a woman, as well as I think it's important to have more diversity in engineering, she expressed. From my time in university and my time working in these different co-op jobs, it's been so rewarding for me to know that my work is impacting the community in positive ways. Neepawa to pave 2.4 kilometers of streets in 2021 by Owen Devereaux. The town of Neepawa is moving forward on its most ambitious road repair project in a long time. On Tuesday, April the 6th, Council approved spending $867,610 on street upgrades through the community. The paving and repair work to be done includes portions of the following roads: Davidson Street, $158,785 estimated cost. Howden Avenue, $134,327. Mill Street, $130,530. Clare Crescent, $121,513. Ray Avenue, $113,915. Commerce Street West, $78,240. Stonehouse Street, $69,245. Commerce Intersection, $16,160. Hospital Curb, $5,970. The work also includes two separate patching projects, one with overlay for $32,925 and $6,000 respectively. The portion of work planned for Commerce will require patching prior to overlay and may be removed from the list pending the pavement budget. Maple Leaf Construction Limited, based out of Winnipeg, won the contract with the lowest bid amongst 5 compliant bidders. Currently, the estimated timeline for the work to begin has been planned for July, reliant upon Maple Leaf's scheduled projects beforehand. And the next article is entitled Annual Ag Expo Harvests Community Support. We have a picture here of Cam Tibbett and Matt Lowry hosting the Neepawa Ag Expo auction. The community came through with over $22,000 to support the event, which was held live on NACTV on Thursday, April the 1st. Organizers are very happy with the end results of this year's version of the Neepawa Ag Expo auction. The live auction was put together by Matt Lowry, Scott Newton, and Cam Tibbett and aired live on NACTV on Thursday, April the 1st. In total, the night was able to raise $22,636, which will go towards the Neepawa Natives Junior A Hockey Club. As well, 10% of the total amount brought in will also go towards the Neepawa Curling Club to assist them in the replacement of an ice shed dehumidifier. This is the second straight year a television auction has been held, as opposed to the exhibition-style showcase normally put together for the region's farming sector. Matt Lowry told the Banner and Press that the continued restrictions surrounding COVID-19 are the reason for that change. He did stress, however, that the team's board members are still very happy with how everything came together. The amount raised was very similar to the amount raised in 2020. This year's televised auction was a bit easier to plan because we've gone through it together once before and learned a lot from last year. We adjusted a few things this year, but overall, we were happy with the layout and execution we had in 2020. So we just wanted to tweak a few things to build on a successful event in 2020. NACTV staff were a pleasure to work with and made it very easy for us. We just had to try and not stumble on our words, said Lowry. After the event was concluded, Lowry stated that both the Junior A Hockey Club and Curling Club are very thankful to all the businesses from the community and surrounding area that came on board to donate prizes for the auction. He also offered praise to hockey team staff for helping out with the social media posts to get the word out. Lastly, Lowry relayed thanks to the co-organizers, Scott Newton and Cam Tibbett, who Lowry stated put in much time and effort in the planning and running of the event. The concept of the Ag Expo was first developed in 2017 by Lowry, Newton, and Tibbett as a means to raise some extra cash for the Neepawa Natives Hockey Club. They also envisioned it as an opportunity for local producers to speak with industry-related vendors on a wide range of topics. Lowry indicated that any shift back to the old format in the future is a conversation that the team will have to have with sponsors. Out of Helen's kitchen. This week her topic is Jews on the prairies. My research today brings us to a little known part of our history, the Jewish settlers on the prairies. The Jews came to the Canadian West to escape persecution in their European homelands. For years, Russia had imposed severe restrictions on its Jewish peoples, such as limitations in travel and years of compulsory military service. The abuse escalated and led to programs organized by the government. Pogrom is what I meant. Pogrom is a Russian word meaning to wreak havoc, to demolish violently. These pogroms left thousands of Jews dead and many hurt and homeless. It also put thousands of Jews on the move. In 1882, Sir Alexander Galt, the Canadian High Commissioner to Britain, and a Russian Jewish group believed that a Jewish settlement in the Canadian West was a great option. In 1882, 350 Jews arrived in Winnipeg, and eventually they were able to settle in their new agricultural colony of New Jerusalem, just across the Manitoba border at Moosomin, Saskatchewan. They had to contend with harsh winds, bitter cold, snow, heat, and drought, with no farming experience, money, or proper tools and equipment. By 1889, their crops had been frozen, hailed, dried out, and some had been burned suspiciously. After 6 years, they moved out and went on to other ventures. In 1887, a Jewish farm settlement was started at Niverville, and after the turn of the century, there were also Bender Hamlet and Camper north of Winnipeg. In the Bender Hamlet in the Interlake region, the settlers found very stony, poor, and wet land. The Bender Hamlet site had a shul, or synagogue, and 18 log homes. Each family nailed to their door jambs a mezuzah, or a small case containing verses from the Torah, reminding them they were God's chosen people. 3 crop failures in a row and low cattle prices saw the slow demise of this colony. Small settlements close to Winnipeg saw Jewish farmers set up dairy farms and market gardens. As many of the farming ventures failed, the Jews tended to migrate to the small towns where they set up general stores. In the 1920s, there were Jewish merchants and farm families living in 118 Manitoba towns outside Winnipeg. As most Jews were multilingual, their businesses were popular in the Polish, Ukrainian, and other European communities. Their stores became informal meeting places, leading to rich friendships with community members. The Jews living in small communities without their own people found it hard to keep their customs, traditions, and religious observances. For many, relocation to larger centers was the only way to remain observant to Jewish religious laws. The ones who stayed farming found there was no one to pass the farm down to, as city jobs and university educations beckoned the younger generation. Minnedosa had the Asper family, and in Neepawa we had Al Schulman, who owned and ran the economy department store for many years. In the town of Arden, Paul Davinsky's father had a store. He has no memories of discrimination, as there were other minorities in Arden and everybody got along. Paul attributes his later involvement in the interfaith work on the board of the Canadian Council of Christians and Jews to his experiences in Arden. The arrival of these Russian Jews was not favorably received by all. The Manitoba Free Press commented, "They are not likely to be of any great value to the country." How wrong were they? The Jewish impact in Manitoba in federal, provincial, and municipal politics was invaluable. Their philanthropic works are legendary, as were the significant contributions to education and culture. And this is not your classic potato latke. There's a couple of recipes that Helen Drysdale has included, one called curried sweet potato latkes and one called mandelbrot. In the Rural Outlook section, it says ATV suspected cause of Carberry grass fire. Investigators believe a massive grass fire recently near Carberry was started by the use of an all-terrain vehicle, or ATV. The blaze broke out near the Dane subdivision around Road 92 West and 59 North on Thursday, April 1st. The Carberry North Cypress Langford Fire Department initially responded to the fire, with several neighboring fire departments also being called on to assist. We assessed it as a fast-moving fire in high winds during a dry spring with tall grass due to little snowfall this winter, the fire department stated via media release. We immediately activated mutual aid and called multiple water trucks from local farmers and colonies, as well as sequestering tractors, discs, and a scraper. Due to a combination of conditions, the fire spread very quickly through the area, forcing the evacuation of 30 families from their homes. The fire was moving faster than firefighters could douse it, however. It crossed a Canadian Pacific Railway line and was moving north toward the Dane subdivision, threatening a number of homes, the media release said. At that point, in the late afternoon, RCMP with the Blue Hills Detachment assisted in evacuating people from their homes in the Dane subdivision and relocated them to the Carberry Plains Community Center for a time. The families were allowed to return to their homes around 8:30 p.m. once the fire was deemed under control. Initial reports on social media suggested that a house had been burned down. Later, however, it was confirmed that while a home did receive some damage to its siding, no houses were lost. On Friday, April 2nd, the Carberry North Cypress Langford Fire Department issued a news release outlining what they believe may have been the cause. Investigation is ongoing, but we feel that this fire was started by an ATV. With the extremely dry conditions, we highly recommend no off-road travel anywhere in the municipality of North Cypress Langford. The town of Carberry and the municipality of North Cypress Langford have been under a burn ban since March 19th due to dry conditions. All outdoor fires are prohibited, and anyone caught violating the ban could be fined. Now for the Spruce Plains RCMP report by Corporal Jacob Stanton of the Spruce Plains RCMP. During the week of March 29th to April 4th, Spruce Plains RCMP dealt with 56 police activities. On March 29th, RCMP received a report of a person disobeying their court order in Neepawa. Charges are pending as a result. Police responded to a disturbance at a business in Minnedosa where a person was not complying with public health orders and left without paying. The bill was settled later and the complainant requested no further police action. March 30th, RCMP responded to a multiple reports of an assault in Gladstone. The matter is still under investigation. Police conducted proactive traffic enforcement, engaging with several motorists. On March 31st, RCMP received complaints of a dangerous driver in the RM of Minto O'Donnell, a person driving while prohibited in Gladstone, and responded to a commercial alarm in Rapid City that was determined to be false. On April the 1st, RCMP received a complaint of an erratic driver in the RM of Oakview. There was insufficient evidence to proceed further. Police received a report of an abandoned vehicle in the RM of Oakview. Upon investigation, it was discovered that the vehicle was stolen out of Rivers. The vehicle was towed and Rivers Police Department was notified. On April the 2nd, RCMP responded to a report of an assault at a business in Neepawa. There was insufficient evidence to proceed further. Police received a call of a single vehicle rollover in the RM of Rosedale. There were no injuries and the vehicle was towed. On April 3rd, RCMP responded to a well-being check on a person walking on the side of the road in Neepawa. Police made contact with the person who advised they had received a ride home and there was no cause for concern. Police received a wallet that was found in Neepawa that was later returned to its owner. On April the 4th, RCMP provided assistance to paramedics in Minnedosa and engaged with several motorists while conducting traffic enforcement. RCMP conducted 33 traffic enforcement actions during this reporting period. If you have any information about these crimes or any other crimes, please contact your local RCMP office or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the Neepawa and Minnedosa RCMP detachments advise they will be limiting front counter services at the detachments until further notice. We request that you contact each detachment at Neepawa 204-476-7340 or Minnedosa 204-867-2916 to inquire about criminal record checks or to file a report. Leave a message if needed and it will be checked the next following day. Do not leave a message if you require immediate police assistance. You must dial for Neepawa 204-476-7338 or Minnedosa 204-867-2751 or 911 to have a police officer respond to you promptly. And there's a fresh look for former Neepawa Shop Easy. And there's a picture of it. Provost Signs crew took down the Neepawa Shop Easy branding and replaced them with the new Neepawa Fresh Mart signs on March 31st. Some people may have noticed a new name at a long-standing grocery store in Neepawa. What was known as Neepawa Shop Easy now has a new name, Neepawa Fresh Mart. The grocery store is locally owned by Blake and Kelly Rowe, but the Shop Easy and Fresh Mart brands are under Loblaws Companies Limited. Blake Rowe explained that Loblaws has been phasing out the Shop Easy name and replacing the branding throughout Canada with the Fresh Mart name. The signs at the Neepawa store were swapped out on Wednesday, March 31st, but the name change could be noticed in other places, such as the receipts a few weeks prior. Rowe noted that the changeover was actually supposed to happen last June, but because of COVID-19, the process was put on hold. He added that there will be a few policy changes within the business, but nothing will change for customers. He likened the transition to when the name changed from Tomboy to Shop Easy back in the 90s. For some background, the grocery store originally opened under the name Williams Tomboy in 1967 by owner Reg Williams. In 1994, the name changed to Williams Shop Easy for a similar reason as the current change to Fresh Mart, as the name Tomboy was being phased out by the parent company. The store became known as Neepawa Shop Easy in 1996 when it changed hands to Rowe and his brother. And there's also a new sign that went up at Chicken Chef. Neepawa's newest restaurant is getting ready to open soon. Chicken Chef officially took ownership of the former Chicken Corral building at 51 Main Street East on Thursday, April 1st, and they've been busy working on the transition. The restaurant has been closed since the ownership change, but work has been happening inside the building with some renovations and equipment installation. The new signage went up on Tuesday, April the 6th. The business announced by social media that they have a projected opening date for this Saturday, April the 10th. Communities are excited to host provincial curling championships by the banner staff. Several communities across the province, including Carberry and Neepawa, now have something to look forward to on their sports calendar. Curl Manitoba announced back in March the host clubs for Manitoba's premier curling championships for the next 2 curling seasons. Next year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts will be hosted by the Carberry Curling Club, while the Viterra Men's Championship will be hosted by the Selkirk Curling Club. The following season's championships will be hosted by the East St. Paul Curling Club, which is the Scotties, and the Viterra will be held at Neepawa Curling Club. Timing for the 2021-22 Manitoba Scotties faces the quadrennial scheduling challenge of working around the Olympics in February. As a result, the Provincial Women's Championship will be played in Carberry December 14th to the 19th, 2021. The winner will earn the opportunity to represent Manitoba at the National Scotties in Thunder Bay in January 2022. Carberry was one of the original 7 clubs which formed the Manitoba Curling Association over 130 years ago, said the Curl Manitoba past president Rob Van Comer, who will chair the 2021-22 Scotties Organizing Committee. Our committee said an emphatic yes when we were given this opportunity. It will be one of the highlights in the history of our curling club and in the sports history of our community. While Carberry will be hosting the Scotties for the first time, Selkirk will actually be hosting the men's championship for the 6th time. The timing of the Viterra Championship will also be slightly affected in next year's championship schedule. The best male curlers in Manitoba will assemble in Selkirk January 25th to the 30th, 2022. The scheduling of events for qualifying into the Carberry Scotties and the Selkirk Viterra Championship will be announced in the near future. When is your tea time? Neepawa Golf and Country Club reopens April the 10th. It's time to get back into the swing of things as the Neepawa Golf and Country Club is set to open for the season on Saturday, April 10th. Club manager, general manager, and CPGA professional Landon Cameron said everyone is looking forward to starting the golf season. He said the golf course wintered very well and has come into this spring in fair condition. Our maintenance crew has been able to get out there a little early and put some work in, get some things cleaned up, and get some water down. We're hopeful for April 10th for our opening date, stated Cameron. An April 10th opening is one of the earliest start dates for the club in recent memory. Cameron said that some recent colder weather had them a bit concerned that they'd have to push back the date. But as long as the weather cooperated in the days leading up to the 10th, he was optimistic they would be just fine. He said everything else is taking shape, just needed a bit of heat to green things up. I'm receiving phone calls and text messages from club members asking when we'll get going. I think this will be one of the earliest opening days that we've had since I've been here. It's nice to be able to get a good head start after the year we experienced in 2020, Cameron stated. Last year was indeed a challenging one for the club, with the uncertainty surrounding COVID-19 combined with flooding from the massive Canada Day weekend storm. Cameron noted, however, that they have been able to come out of those difficulties intact. This year will also be a special one for Neepawa Golf and Country Club, and it is scheduled to host a pair of notable Golf Manitoba events, the NOT Autocore Men's Amateur Championship and the Men's Provincial Interclub Championship. The NOT, N-O-T-T, Autocore Men's Amateur Championship is currently scheduled for July 15th to the 18th, and the format would see 120 players play on the first and second day of the event, with the field being cut to 60 for the final 2 days of competition. Neepawa previously hosted the men's amateur back in 2013. As for the Interclub Championship, it is set for August 31st. The format sees groups of 4 players from the same golf club teaming up together for that one-day format. Good. And Carberry North Cypress Langford News, Here and There by Gladwin Scott. Leanne Gates, member of the Glenborough Rink Committee, helped raise for a new Zamboni for the Glenborough Rink. Leanne Gates is a pharmacist with Carberry's Falk Pharmacy, a wife and mother, and also deputy mayor of Glenborough South Cypress Municipality. As a member of the Glenborough Rink Committee, they made a decision in March 2019 that it was essential to replace their Zamboni instead of repairing the present one due to its corrosion from hard water. In June 2020, they received a grant of $58,968 from the Minister of Municipal Relations towards their Zamboni project, which represented 50% of their project cost. Other grants, awards, and funds included $10,000 from Brandon and Area Foundation, $6,000 from Glenborough Area Foundation, $5,000 from Pembina Co-op Community Support, $6,000 from daughter Anna's Falcons Provincial's fundraising, $1,720 husband Corey Forbes and Rob Smith Hockey School profits, $1,752 Mother Linda Gates quilt raffle, $900 from Adam Boys donation 2019, $500 from Novice Boys donation, $500 from Westoba Inspire donation, and $20,000 from Municipality of Glenborough South Cypress. Corey Forbes, Glenborough Minor Hockey president and coach of the high school Wildcats for 20 years, will be very happy with the new Zamboni. Leanne Gates is a great volunteer, leader, and pharmacist. Many folks in Glenborough will agree that she is the straw that stirs the drink. Mimi Westcott, formerly of Douglas, celebrated her 110th birthday on January the 10th, 2021 in Brandon. Her son, Ray, contributed an interesting article for editor-in-chief Doreen Sage of Neepawa for the spring edition of KIT Keep in Touch kit for RTAM, Retired Teachers Association of Manitoba. Mimi was the middle of 11 children who spent her early years on the family farm at Lauder. Then she completed her grade 12 in Souris and later normal school in Winnipeg, 1929. Her first position was at Dairy School north of Douglas until 1936, when she married a local farmer named Reg Westcott. Mimi was forced to retire as married women weren't allowed to teach. In 1952, after her 5 children were born, she returned to teaching at Dairy and later at Shiloh. She retired after 25 years of teaching. Curling was a prime family activity, and she curled until the age of 90. Former Carberry Mayor Wayne Blair, who was a farm neighbor, maintains that Reg Westcott was one of the best skips in the Westman area. Mimi and family members traveled to numerous curling championships throughout the world. From Fairview Personal Care Home, Mimi stated, "I don't feel old, and some people say I don't look old. Although my body is frail, I have no diseases and take no prescription medications, only daily vitamin D with apple cider vinegar and honey when I remember." Good progress has been made in the Carberry Collegiate Music Program as the older students started to use their wind instruments 2 weeks before spring break. When they started classes on April the 5th, all students began using their wind instruments. Special face masks are used so they can play their horns. Social distancing is also observed, music teacher Justine Burke stated. McGregor Collegiate Principal Kyle McKinstry reported that their students will be commencing some athletic activities such as baseball, volleyball, and track and field as of April the 5th. Carberry North Cypress Langford Fire Department, with help from Glenborough, Wawanesa, Shiloh, Elton, and Hutterite Colony departments, battled a large grass fire west of Carberry near the Danes subdivision Thursday afternoon. 30 families were evacuated to the local arena due to the high winds and smoke. Fortunately, no homes were lost, but a couple of sheds did not survive. Evacuees were allowed back in their homes around 8:30 p.m. However, firefighters remained on the scene till 11 p.m., putting out small brush fires. Although there has been a municipal fire ban since March 19th, the cause of the fire is suspected to be from an ATV. Brendan Botcher's Team Canada got off to a great start at the World Men's Curling Championships in the Calgary Bubble, April 2nd to 11th. 14 countries are in competition for the 2021 title. In opening games, Canada won over Scotland 9-6, won over Japan 8-5, and beat Denmark 7-5. They lost in an extra end to Switzerland 6-4, but then beat the Netherlands 7-6. Playoffs are scheduled for April 10th and 11th. Good to see Major League Baseball take a stand and remove the 2021 Summer All-Star Game, July 13th, from Atlanta, Georgia, in retaliation for the Republicans' suppressive voting regulations. I used to scout for the Braves and was able to spend time at the West Palm Beach training camp. Baseball is important, but so is freedom. Many people throughout the world will be following the trial of ex-police officer Derek Chauvin, who was involved in the death of George Floyd. Minneapolis City Council has already voted $27 million to the George Floyd estate, 13-0, and also voted 11-2 to dismantle the police department. 2 weeks were required to select 14 jurors, including 2 spares, for the Minneapolis-based trial, expected to last 4 weeks. Louisville Council voted $12 million to Breonna Taylor's estate, who was shot by 6 officers in a botched raid, March 15th, 2020. And the community profile this week is a young man named Marcus Araya. Marcus Araya, age 18, is a member of the Carberry Collegiate 2021 graduating class. He needs to complete biology, physics, applied math, and his 80-hour physical education credit to graduate. He really enjoys basketball and is the point guard for the Cougars, who have not played for over a year due to COVID-19. The Araya family moved from the Paw to Carberry 4 years ago, where his father, Imundo, had a power engineer position with McCain's. Marcus has aspirations to get his license as a pilot. He has a summer job with Westman Aerial Spraying, mixing chemicals, and would take his pilot training in Brandon or Winnipeg. His father and mother, Lorena, had a positive influence on him, as did Ryan Robson, who inspired him to do his best when he arrived in Carberry. His older brother, Gabe, is studying power engineering at Red River Community College, and his sister, Margaret, a 2020 Carberry grad, is doing well at Brandon University studying online and has summer employment at Brandon Hospital. Marcus is not a big fan of online learning, but is happy with their move to Carberry. And here we have a picture of the Neepawa Rotary Club donating to a local quilt guild branch. This is Diane Nordstrom of Victoria's Quilts accepting a check for $500 from Neepawa Rotary Treasurer Murray Newton. Victoria Quilts provides quilts free of charge to cancer patients all over Manitoba. The group distributes around 25 quilts per month and has already delivered 102 quilts in 2021. Wow. The 17th annual JAS Red Angus Buy the Beef Bull Sale took place at the Neepawa Ag Complex on Tuesday, April the 6th, with consignor Camo Cattle Company. Over 60 yearling and 2-year-old purebred and Angus bulls were up for sale. Prices ranged from $3,000 to $8,500. Buyers attended in person, online, and over the phone. Here's a picture of a couple of yearling bulls that were on offer at the sale. In this picture, Jason McLaren of JAS Red Angus, right here, addresses the sale attendees. Auctioneer Brent Carey and Darnell Fornwald of First Class Cattle Marketing prepare to start the sale. And here we have ringman Colton McIntosh and Scott Johnson calling the bids during the auction. And here pictured is the Dundee block amidst the construction in 1903. The building was finished that year and was located at 438-442 Mountain Avenue in Neepawa. The Dundee block was constructed by John Brown, a general merchant who was born in Dundee, Scotland, according to the Manitoba Historical Society. Evidently, this is where the Dundee block got its name. Brown had immigrated to Canada in 1880, settling in Russell, Manitoba, where he started a general store 2 years later. In 1897, he sold the business and moved to Neepawa, purchasing the firm of Davidson and Company. Additional fun fact, Brown's father was a man named Thomas. And that is it for this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.